are you. I'm sure you are amazing. I have a special little dance for everybody to do. It goes like this. You might recognise it. It goes B, U, P, A. You ready? B, U, P, A. Sing loudly. B, U, P, A. Woohoo! Now, I got very excited just recently because now that I've involved with this gorgeous group of people, I've seen your branding, I've seen your logo everywhere. But for me, it means of something very, very special. And it's the Rowie spin on your beautiful word. So today's all about being a beautiful person, being an understanding person, being a powerful, passionate, positive person, and being an awesome, action-oriented, amazing person. B-U-P-A. That's what your brand means to me because I've dug really deeply and I want to share with you something very personal. My father was put into a retirement village because he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He died in that retirement village and it was a really horrible experience. And one of the things about business, because I own a business college, we have an international business diploma, I teach people about business. And if you want to have a successful business, you have a look at what everybody else is doing and you do it differently and you do it better. So when I've had a deep dive into what your beautiful company does, I get very excited about I wish my father had been or had the opportunity to be with you guys. And all I want to share with you is a very important analogy that you'll hear on a regular basis. You have, yes, a great responsibility for looking after people that have had an amazing life. But if you don't look after you, and there's that great example of if you're in a plane and the emergency rule explanation comes at the start, if the oxygen mask falls out of the ceiling, you have to breathe first. Before you help your children breathe, before you help your grandparents breathe, before you help anybody else on the plane breathe, you have to be breathing because if you don't look after yourself, then you can't look after anybody else. So the first part of Bupa for me is about being a beautiful person on the inside and the outside so that you can help other people have a great life too. Now, I've been an exercise professional all of my life because the driving force of my father dying of Alzheimer's was what happens to the brain. Why does it rot away? Why does the body get old? So I've been studying that every single day of my life since I've been 13 years of age. I started at 15 in the exercise profession full time, and I've managed health clubs all over the world, and now I have a college that trains people to look after the human race. I want people to be healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic for the rest of their life. And I want it to be really simple. But the challenge with being beautiful on the inside and the outside is a lot of people focus on the outside. I want to have ripped abdominals, or I want to have a beautiful body or a tight bum, or I want to have low body fat percentage. Well, it's not about that. If you want to be beautiful, is it possible that that starts on the inside? Are you looking after you? Are you doing the things that make you beautiful on the inside? And I'm in my begging position because in the responsibility of looking after people in the last part of their life, most people live the last part of their life unhealthy, weak and frail. Well, I would like everybody to be healthy, fit and strong for their entire life. And I have this great wish for myself and I think for everybody. My favourite day is to spend time with my family, spend time with my 5 puppy dogs, eat yummy food, do something fun, get out in the fresh air and sunshine, and then die peacefully in my sleep. And I wish that for everybody. But I want to share with you a really cool story. Because I've been studying aging and being healthy all of my life, we went to Sardinia because I wanted to see a blue zone that had food that was eatable, because there's lots of blue zones in the world where old people live over 100. But I wanted to see people that ate normal food, and to me, Italian food's just delicious. So we went to Sardinia and we found some very, very old people. And this is my favourite story. We went to a village just on sunset and we went to the pub, and there was a group of old guys at the pub. The youngest was 85 and the oldest was 103. They had been working all day. They were full-time olive farmers on their own farm. They had just played soccer after full-time working. They were now at the pub having a cigar, a glass of wine and a pizza. And I can't think of any more quality of life for an 85 to 103-year-old to be living like that. I'm sharing that with you because I would love for you to create experiences for old people that they don't have poor quality of life. They have an amazing life. And the really fun part of this story, talk about quality of life. There was a translator at the pub. There was a guy that could speak Italian and English. And he shared with me, the oldest guy was 103, and he said, this beautiful man has just said, Rowie, you're a very pretty lady, but I'm going home to make love to my wife at 103. Surely that's the ultimate quality of life. You're still doing what you love. You still have purpose. You're still playing your sport. You're eating yummy food. You're hanging out with great people, and you've still got that great part of your life where you want to make love to your partner. So surely that's the ultimate life. But if you want to do that, if you want to have a great life, you have to look after you first. So I'm not here to preach at you about health and fitness because I hate people that do that. I hate my profession for doing that. I just want everybody to be healthy. So I've got this really simple process for being beautiful on the inside, which shines on the outside. And the side effect of being healthy, fit and strong on the inside, obviously, is that you have a body that can do all the things that you want to do. And it's this simple. Get puffed to get fit. Lift heavy to get strong. Do it safely so you don't get injured. Do it short so you don't get bored. And make sure you get results quickly so that you stay motivated. That's a really simple process for having a healthy, fit, strong body for the rest of your life. Then when it comes to food, it's so complicated and can't have, mustn't have, don't have, shouldn't have. That's bad for you. You can't have that. Well, I'm an old lady. I'm well over 60. And I eat lollies and chocolate and ice cream and chips every single day because I've got a body that burns it up. And I'm sharing that with you because food shouldn't be complicated either. How about eat what you love, don't eat what you don't like. Eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. Eat more real food and eat for pleasure and for performance. I hate it when somebody says you can't have that, it's bad for you. And I'll give you the reason for that. There's no bad food because you can pick any food. Let's pick chocolate. If you're about to die and you're out in the bush or the desert and you hadn't eaten for 3 weeks and you came across a box of chocolate, if you ate that chocolate, it would keep you alive. If you came across a carton of beer and you drank it, it would keep you alive. If you came across a packet of chips, it would keep you alive. So I wish that eating was a fun thing. It was a pleasurable experience. And particularly when you get old, and I want to share with you a really horrible story that happened to my father. My father was Hungarian and a really good chef. My mother didn't cook at our house, my father did. And one day I went to see him at the retirement village and they had got a pie and put it into a blender and then gave it to my father. Can you imagine what that looked like even? Food shouldn't be like that. Food should be an exciting experience. And if we're caught up in the whole can't have, mustn't have, don't have, I've got to be thin, I've got to have a tight bum, then we forget that being healthy and eating and exercising for pleasure and performance is really important. So for me, the big part of Bupa, B, is to be beautiful, healthy, fit, strong, energetic for the rest of your life so that you can help everybody else in your life to do the same. The next part for me is a really important part because I teach people every day, I'm an educator, I teach people how to get people healthy, fit and strong. But if you tell somebody what to do, if you preach at somebody, if you teach them, it's a really ugly experience because I don't want people to tell me what to do. When people say to me, Rowie, tell me how to eat and exercise, I'll do exactly what you tell me. I always share, hang on a minute, you're an adult. Why would you want another adult to tell you what to do? So there's a really great communication tool and I'm sure that you all know it, but I think sometimes we just need to be reminded of how important our communication is. And I'll give you a great story for this. Understanding, we often hear people say, I completely understand how you feel, or I understand what you're going through, or I know all about that because I've done that too or been through that too. I understand. The reverse of that, though, is if you ever have an argument with somebody, with your partner, with your kids, with people at work, doesn't matter. If you have an argument, it usually ends up in, but you just don't understand. So my question is this, how do we really understand? And this is my story. I had a lady come to one of my health clubs in Brisbane in Australia. She was 120 kilos and 5 foot tall. And in her language, not mine, she said, Rowie, I'm easier to jump over than walk around. She said, it took me 9 times to come to your health club because this is not the place for me. I'm a really big lady. So congratulations. Whatever, if you want to be healthy, I want to help you to be healthy. That's the part of the story that's the most important. Anyway, I put her with one of my personal trainers, one of the exercise professionals in the health club. That was not the typical ripped abdominals, tight butt cheek type of trainer. She was we would call her a bigger person, and I don't even like to say that. She was just not the normal, oh, look at that person, they're a social media influencer. Anyway, after about 5 minutes of being in the consultation room with this trainer, Gina came out of that room, knocked on my office door, and she screamed at me, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. She said, "Get me out of that room of that stupid woman." I said, "Share what happened, what's going on?" And she said, "That girl said to me that she completely understands how I feel because she's fat too." Whoa. Now, you guys will get this straight away. When you're 120 kilos, this other girl was probably maybe 80 kilos. When you're 120 kilos, 80 kilos is a dream. And this girl, beautiful girl, but she just didn't understand the communication tool, which is, I don't understand how you feel. And I learned from that day, and I've been studying communication tools ever since. We never understand what somebody's going through. I had exactly the same experience with another woman that came to my health club who shared with me that she was miserable, grumpy, stressed and tired because her mother had just died of Alzheimer's. And stupid me, absolutely ridiculously stupid me, said, "I completely understand how you feel because my father died of Alzheimer's." And she nailed me, like this woman absolutely nailed me, which is the best thing that's ever happened to my communication skills, because she said, "You have no idea what I'm going through." The relationship between a father and a daughter is so different to a mother and a daughter. Don't pretend you understand what I'm going through. I'm sharing that with you because wouldn't it be nice to not try and understand or think that we understand? How about this beautiful communication tool for understanding, which is, I don't know what you're going through, but because I care or because I love you, I want to understand. And I use love you because most relationships with partners in an argument end up with, you don't understand. Well, I've got a beautiful husband, but I don't understand how the male brain works. So if I say to my husband, I completely understand what you mean, I would be stupid. So I never say that in any conversation. I always share, I don't understand what you're going through, but I want to. Open body language, lean forward, maintain eye contact. I'm sharing that with you because for me, as an older woman now, and I always thought that when I was old that I would end up like my mum and dad. Well, I've stayed healthy, fit and strong because I don't want to be old. I want to stay young for the rest of my life. But I don't understand any of what people go through because they're not me. So wouldn't it be nice to just share openly, I don't understand what you're going through, but I want to. And I think that connects in nicely with being a beautiful person because it shows that you genuinely care and you're genuinely interested. The next part for me of Booper, P, powerful, passionate, positive person. Woohoo! Just quickly, I get constantly accused of being unrealistically happy, ridiculously happy. You can't be that happy all the time. I often get accused of being fake happy. Well, here's a great question. What if you could be happy every day? What if you had a mindset that said, I can't control what's going on in the world, but I'm going to respond effectively to what's going on in the world. I'm going to learn and grow from everything. And this was my biggest learning experience. I was 13 years of age. I was at a private boarding school in Melbourne in Australia. My father sent me there to be a lawyer. And I didn't want to be a lawyer because we had a great day where somebody taught us group exercise, and I knew from that day that I was going to be an exercise professional for the rest of my life. But I wasn't a popular girl at school, and the 2 most popular girls at school sent a survey around my school. Now, I'm very old, so there was no internet. They did it with paper. And on the piece of paper was, if you like Rowie, tick yes, and if you don't like Rowie, tick no. They were the most popular girls in the school. They were the prettiest girls in the school. They were the best at sport and the best at academics. And everybody ticked, we don't like Rowie. And at the end of the day, I had a pile of paper, 450 pieces, that said, Rowie, nobody likes you. I'm sharing that story with you because we all have tough stuff that happens. but we get to choose how we respond or react. Now, of course, my first reaction was I went home and cried. But I'm a logical person, and I thought to myself, the most gorgeous, popular girls in the school are picking on me. Weak people pick on weaker people. So there's something going on in their life that isn't very good. So I'm going to learn from this experience, and I'm going to share with you, this became my mantra at 13 years of age. I am a powerful, passionate, positive person, which goes very nice with Booper, by the way. I decided from that day, and I say it every morning to this day before I came on with you guys, I am a powerful, passionate, positive person. Because if you put great stuff into your head every day, you're more likely to be a great person. You're more likely to have a great day. Just as a side note for that, if you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, I'm really tired, well, you're going to be tired. I'm having a fat day. You're going to have a fat day. Your brain will do exactly what you tell it to do. So I woke up the next morning and I looked in the mirror and I said, Rowie, you're a powerful, passionate, positive person. I walked back into school, which I think they thought was quite unusual. I walked up to both of them and I looked at them straight in the eye, two of them, and I said, from this day forward, because of you, I'm going to be a powerful, passionate, positive person. And I was never bullied again. I was never picked on again. And now I don't care if people pick on me, and they do on a regular basis, because as I share with you, people say, you can't be that happy all the time. You're ridiculous and fake. I don't care what people think, because I like who I am. And I don't think you can help other people have a great life if you don't like who you are. So whatever your words are, wouldn't it be great to pick 2, 3, 4, 5 words, and rather than wake up in the morning and say, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed, I've got a bad day, or I had a bad day yesterday, and this is my really important, drag yourself out of bed. What if you jumped out of bed? I call it the 3 E's. Energy, enthusiasm, and excitement. Jump out of bed. And I've got a great song now, just as, again, a quick side note. I teach a community class twice a week, one in Queenstown and one in Cromwell. It's free to the community, and it's called Fight Fit for Fun. And we don't count, we just puff and punch for 21 minutes of high energy, enthusiasm training, and we sing all of these songs. And this is one of the songs that we sing while we're punching, and you'll probably know it, so you can sing with me if you want to. I feel good, na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I knew that I would now, na-na-na-na-na-na-na. So good, yeah, so good, woohoo! Now, if you sing that first thing in the morning, so if you jump out of bed rather than drag yourself out of bed, and you sing, I feel good, na-na-na-na-na-na, I knew that I would now, is it possible that you'll have a better day? Because you've told your own brain, I feel good. I knew that I would. And again, as an important side note, isn't it interesting that we remember the words to songs? We don't remember people's names, and we forget stuff that we're supposed to know. But you can go to a rock concert and you haven't heard a song for 20 years, and you can still sing along with the words because you remember the words. Our brain remembers music. So if you sing great songs, then you're more likely, I think, to have a better day. Now, I'm about to share with you my goal for the world, and if you can take it on board, I'd love it. I have a whole mantra for the days of the week. It goes like this. You might recognise the tune. May your Mondays be magical. May your Tuesdays be terrific. May your Wednesdays be very wow. And your Thursdays be thankful. May your Fridays be a fun day. May your Saturdays be super. May your Sundays be sparkly, 'cause you choose them to be na-na-na. Woohoo! I'm aiming to change the names of the days of the week, because one of the big challenges is people who suffer from Mondayitis, inflammation of the Monday. Wouldn't it be nice to have inflammation of the magical? It's much easier to have a great day on Magical Day Monday when you call it Magical Day rather than Monday. And I'm just sharing that with you because if you want to be a powerful, passionate person, it doesn't fall out of the sky in a pretty green box. You have to make it happen. And when you're working with people every single day who think that life is over, I want to be like that old guy at 103. I want to live my life with top quality and performance and happiness and joy every single day. And I have to make that happen. But you guys are in such a beautiful position to be able to help people live their life like that. But if you don't inject positivity into your entire world, and particularly inject positivity into yourself, then of course that's not possible. So, powerful, passionate, positive person. Woohoo! Can you see the sun's come out now? I hope you can see my mountain too. It's absolutely gorgeous. So be a beautiful person, be an understanding person, be a powerful, passionate, positive person. And for me, because I'm a bit of an extra mile girl, A for me is action oriented so that you can be awesome and amazing. And I'll share this in a very simple process. If you don't do it, it doesn't work. People talk to me about getting fit. Oh, I want to get fit. Well, my hill up here, it takes 8 hours on a round trip to climb this mountain. It's really hard if you're unfit. It's really easy if you're fit and you really enjoy it. But the only way to get fit is to climb the mountain. You have to take action. So many people talk about when I'm ready, Magical Day Monday, when I've come back from holidays, first of the year, that's when I'll start. But surely action starts right now, because the quicker I take action, the quicker I get a result. Then motivation comes from doing rather than just hoping that something great's going to happen. So if you want your life to be awesome, you have to take action on the awesome. But if you take action, is it more likely that things will be awesome? And even my own family find me a little bit peculiar. They think that I've got my own vernacular, as I think my sister's a school teacher, and she said, Rowie, your vernacular is over the top. Yes, I use powerful, passionate, positive words. I say awesome and amazing and spectacular and gorgeous all the time because I want to put great stuff into my brain. The rest of the world uses horrible words. Even the weather reporting and the news reporting, I don't listen to it anymore. The weather report here is always so challenging. It's going to be horrendously cold. It's going to be the worst winter we've ever had. It's going to be the hottest summer we've ever had. I don't want to listen to that stuff because it's negative. I want to do an exaggeration of the positive. So I want things to be awesome and amazing, but I have to make that happen. I have to take the action. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is if we decide that our life is going to be awesome and amazing, then what are we doing every day to make that happen? Now, I bang on about 4 things every day because for me, and I'll share it again, for me, Booper now stands for every time I see your pretty blue colours, I think Booper, beautiful, understanding, powerful, passionate, positive, action-oriented, and awesome and amazing. That's when I see your logo, that's what I think of. But this is what I stand for, and I'm asking you to stand for something. And I share this with my students, and I share this with everybody in my life. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What would you die for? And these 4 things I'm about to share with you is what I do every day, which is help people to be healthy, fit, and strong. Help people to have a career or business that they love. Help people to be financially free, and make sure that you have great people in your life. And here's a really interesting question. If that was the case, and how many people do you know that are healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that they love, they're financially free and they have great people? They're kind of unicorns. There's very few of those in the world. If you find one, you should capture them and study them. But if you want your life to be like that, it's interesting because they're all choices. There's some things I have no control over. So when I woke up this morning, we had a little bit of snow coming out the sky. It was freezing cold. If I came out here and said, I wish it wasn't cold, that would be stupid because I've got no control over the weather. But I have full control over how I react or respond to everything. And I wish that, and it's a silly thing for an old lady wishing, but I just wish that we took responsibility for our life and said, I can choose to be healthy, fit and strong. I can choose to have a career or business that I love. I can choose to be financially free, and I can choose to have great people in my life. And if we do those things, is it possible to be happy? I would like everybody that's involved with Booper, if they're over 50, and I'm not sure the youngest people that come to your villages, but I know that my parents looked at a retirement village when they had just turned 60. I wish that everybody wanted to live their life. They got to the end of their life and it was the best part of their life. There's that great quote, some people get older and some people get older and wiser. Well, I want to be the opposite, and I hope you do too. I don't want to be older and wiser. I want to be older, wiser, better, stronger, happier, and live even more exciting life. And what you guys do, which is create an environment for people where they've got social interaction, they've got safety, they've got an environment where they can live the last part of their life in the best way possible. And that's why I'm here today, because my parents didn't live like that. My parents ended up in a retirement village, and just as a very fun side note again, we took my mum out after my dad died of Alzheimer's, and my mum was in that same retirement village. We bought her a apartment on the Gold Coast on the 12th floor, and she had to walk up the stairs for her heart, down the stairs for her bones. She wasn't allowed to use the lift. She swam every day in the ocean. She used to call it washing machines, where she'd tumbled herself in the waves every single day. The lifesavers thought she was amazing. We got her healthy, fit and strong. She started boxing. She started lifting heavy weights. She started running on the beach. At 74 years of age, my mother was diagnosed with advanced osteoporosis. She had coronary heart disease and had already had 2 heart attacks. She had really bad asthma, and she was really, really overweight. Everybody in her family had died under the age of 60 from coronary heart disease, heart attack. My mother died peacefully in her sleep at 98. The last thing she did was have a beautiful meal, a beautiful spread of meal in a retirement village, but a different retirement village. And she had a big piece of chocolate cake because it was her favourite meal. And she died peacefully in her sleep at 98. That's what you can do for people, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you for having me.